computer. Guys, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Unbreakable Podcast. I have another incredible host, Dr. Minnie Gupta. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your time with us. Please explain to my audience exactly what is it that you do, how you got here, your journey to entrepreneurship, and what made you become an entrepreneur in the first place.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot of info.
Yeah.
I've been around for a few years, so I do have a lot to say. But I guess I'll start with just saying how I'm really excited to be here to talk to your audience because I feel like you offer so many different perspectives, and this is, I think, an additional perspective that I have from my unique experience of starting my business in my 50s. That does sound scary to a lot of people, but I would love to first just like let everybody know what my background is and then how I got here, as you mentioned. So I come from a very education-driven family. My parents were pretty much like to me and my sister, okay, you're either going to be a doctor, an engineer, or get a PhD, right? So my sister got her MD and I got the PhD. And even while I was doing the PhD, I loved science. Like that part was not a problem. I still do. I love science, but I didn't feel like that was my real passion as to what I wanted to do, which was like basically writing grants, working at the lab bench, doing research and that kind of thing. So, what I did was I taught for a couple of years cell biology and biochemistry, and then decided to go ahead and get my MBA. Like I said, very education driven family back in the 80s, 90s. And then got my MBA and worked in corporate for pharmaceuticals, biotech, and healthcare, where I could kind of intersect the science as well as the business side, and did that for about 20 years,
Mhm.
um, which was very interesting. I liked it. But I knew in the back of my mind that even back in college, I was like, I want to, do something that I feel can help women specifically and young girls like reach their full potential. And I didn't know what that was. And so I spent about 25 years kind of sitting on that and ruminating about like, well, what can I do? What can I do? It's not the right time. I was working and then I had three children. I had my daughters. And once I had my daughters, I was also consumed by raising them, which also put kind of my dreams, not that they weren't my dreams, but my professional dreams in the background. So it was 2022. We were still dealing with COVID and the fallout from COVID. And at that point, we had a health scare in my family. And I realized at that point, like life can be really short. Like tomorrow is not promised to any of
Mhm.
us, right? We feel healthy. We feel like we have however many decades to go. But I realized at that point, like, what am I waiting for? If I don't do it now, when am I actually going to do it? So at that point, I incorporated a business name and I started my business. I mean, it was literally like that. It was like I made the decision and the next day I started. So there wasn't a lot of like coming up with a business plan, determining who my ideal clients are. I didn't do any of that. I just knew I had an idea of what I wanted to do and I started it. So I would say for anyone that is sitting and thinking that they want to start a business, but they need to have all their T's crossed and their I's dotted first, you do not have to do that. You make up your mind, you get a little plan in place, doesn't have to be a big one. You surround yourself with people that have been there, done that, kind of know what they're doing, and you can start your business. So, I waited 25 years, but then when I made that decision, I just really jumped into it. And I've never looked back. It's the happiest I've been in my career. I mean, have I made more money in the past? Yeah. But do I find complete fulfillment in what I'm doing and how I'm helping people? Yes. So that's my path, and I always look at it as I mentioned to you, Sarah, as a connect the dots, right? Like I never look back at any part of my life and feel like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that, or I regret this or that. Um, Everything you've done in the past is a game of connect the dots. You have done something, it's given you some value, it's taken you in a different direction. You go to the next dot, and ultimately, all of that is what brings you exactly to where you are. So, what I was doing for the last 25, 30 years, that brought me exactly to this point. So, I don't regret any of it. So anyway, now I'm doing what I truly love and helping people and creating impact, um, helping people build their businesses and grow in
That's
ways
a,
where I'm sorry, were you saying
no,
something,
go
Sarah?
ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you finish and then I'll speak. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think a lot of times we have great ideas, products, services, etc., and businesses still fail at a very high percentage.
Yeah.
And it's not because your product's not good or your service isn't good. You may not, you just may not know how to run the business, right? So surround yourself with the people that can help you get there. And once
Mhm.
that happens, it's like a
Yeah, it's an
trajectory.
upward trajectory, and I think you're absolutely right about that. I know that for a fact. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and sit here and lie. I had an incredible advantage to a lot of people trying to start a business right now. I grew up with an eight-figure entrepreneur for 25 years of my life. I'm not going to sit here and try to deny that. Okay. However, no investor. Started my business with $40 in my pocket. My business model is completely different than my father's because he's e-commerce and I'm e-commerce service based. Okay,
Mhm.
so I didn't have a business model that I could replicate. I did everything basically on my own. And yes, while you have positive influence around you, it does not mean that necessarily that's going to translate into your current business and the business model in which you're running.
Yeah.
So I did everything on my own and I went through school on my own and I worked two jobs going to college on my own too. So let me tell you something. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have the people around you that you surround yourself with are incredibly important.
Mhm.
Yes, I had great influence, but that doesn't necessarily translate right now at all. There's nothing that I could take from my father's business that is going to help me do a better job in the business that I currently own.
Mhm.
And I think even too, I'm more so of a fan of media, podcasting, getting interviewed, and that is something that my father is not. He's very reserved, very
Mhm.
quiet. He makes his money in silence, and I'm more so an extrovert in that way. And I think that's where the beautiful thing is in entrepreneurship. You can really decide who you want to be in entrepreneurship. It doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, you're only this way or you're that way or this way. Like you could have an e-commerce based business, right, on Amazon and selling like a physical product, and you can be someone that gets on podcasts versus someone who doesn't want to be.
Mhm.
Entrepreneurship gives you the freedom and leverage that you cannot get in a corporate job to do whatever it is that you want.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes, I agree with that completely. I think the entrepreneurial energy, you saw it in action growing up. You saw your dad doing it. That's not exactly what you wanted to do or went towards, but you still had that entrepreneurial kind of flash, like whether he's doing something similar to you or not, I feel like you were given a little bit of uh, a light, right? A little
Yeah.
bit of a light to show you that this is possible, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And the rest of it, you just took it and went and ran with it
Yeah.
and did what you wanted with that. So that's amazing.
Let me tell you something. Like a lot of people, and I've had my own friends come to me. Like some of them are teachers, some of them are, they're like working in daycare or like honestly, like a lot of them are like, "How did you do it? Why didn't you?" I'm like, first of all, I got fired from my previous job. Let's start there. Second of all, no one wanted to hire me afterwards. And I was like, and a lot of what the job market, which you currently see right now, is like they're telling a lot of young kids that you need to have 4 to 5 years of experience. Babe, we just graduated college. I don't know what you're expecting,
Yeah.
but we don't have that kind of experience. So you can't, I think a lot of jobs have gotten incredibly unreasonable with the younger generation. And I
Mhm.
think that's why you see so many young kids switch to entrepreneurship, especially with the evolution of AI.
Mhm.
And, you know, it's like a lot of the older people, they're like, well, why are all these young kids starting AI businesses? I was like, you created software, we took advantage of it. You can't get mad at something that you created for our leverage. You
Mhm.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We live in a world right now where it's actually easier to start a business than actually go work for someone, which has never
Mhm.
been happening before. And like, unless it was like 100 years ago
Yeah.
during the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah. No, very true. And I think some people are I would say in the older generation, maybe wondering whether AI is a good thing or not. And definitely there are both sides of that coin. But
Yes.
I think when you're starting a business and if you can use it to save time and leverage time, that is the advantage of AI, right?
Yeah.
Like, what can AI do for you to reduce your time, reduce the number of employees you
Yep.
may need, especially as an entrepreneur? Like, you
Yeah.
don't have the money
Labor is
to,
expensive.
right, right, to find employees and VAs and that kind of thing. So it
Yep.
can get you off the ground, start building that business, and then hire who you need to
Yeah.
hire, you know? So, yeah, I definitely
Entrepreneurship.
leverage AI. What's
Yeah,
that?
no, listen, I completely agree with you. AI is there to get your stuff off the ground, but I see the negative sides of it where your ability to critically think is not being leveraged enough.
Hmm.
And I see
Exactly.
that even a lot in my generation too. A lot of my generation doesn't know how to critically think at all. The
Yeah.
only reason why that I know how to critically think is because I wasn't allowed to even have a cell phone at the dinner table. I was
Hmm.
actually forced to have conversations with full-grown adults from a
Yeah.
very young age. And that's probably
Yeah.
why I can articulate what I believe in
Mhm.
extremely well. And I get that question to me all the time.
Yeah.
Um, we build businesses to help people.
Mhm.
I think the number one thing that when people are starting a business, you need to think about how, who, what, where, and what it is that you want to do a business. You
Yeah.
can't just sit here and be like, I'm going to get into this and I'm just going to run with it. And you're not, and I think a lot of people, I don't like talking about competition, but competition does exist.
Hmm.
You need to be knowledgeable about your competition, but you need to focus on your own thing though.
Yeah.
Okay. If
Exactly.
you spend more time
Mhm.
worrying about your competition versus you focusing on your own business, they're always going to do better than you. So,
Well, yeah. I mean, I think what goes right along with that is I think a lot of people who start businesses are so busy consuming information and trying to learn everything they can. So they're listening to podcasts and they're
yeah.
going to master classes and masterminds
Yep.
and they're not spending the time. So I do train my clients too, on the business aspect when they're growing their businesses is like you have to have block of time every single day to spend on revenue generating activities.
Yep.
Otherwise, you'll find that you know so much, you've gained a lot of info, but you don't have clients.
Yeah.
So the needle moving activities are, I think sometimes people hide behind not having to do that by
Hmm.
trying to learn too much. And there comes a point where I mean, you started a business because you know something, so it's time to start leveraging that and step out, like spend an hour a day, 2 hours a day. I spend 3 hours a day on revenue generating activities.
Yeah. I think a lot of the time, like a lot, when people ask about copywriting, they're like, why can't I use AI for this? I'm like, do you see how well that comes out? Because it doesn't come out at all. Like you actually wrote it.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, like, if you're going to write content, it needs to sound like you wrote it. Number one, it can't
Hmm.
be mimicked like AI. Okay. I
Yeah.
don't want to see emojis when I'm looking at it because I already know you put no effort into it, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on top of it, it needs to sound like you wrote it. You
Yeah.
need to have some level of emotion and passion into what you wrote because I can
Right.
tell when you don't fucking care, period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
We have a problem right now where a lot of entrepreneurs are just kind of skating by. To your point, I agree with you. You rather just kind of like learn as much as you can and then go do it, except you got no clients, honey.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
delay is actually what's delaying your progression and progress in entrepreneurship.
Right. That's one very important thing. Like spend time every day on needle moving activities. And then the other thing for me is I really believe in relationship
Yep.
building. I don't believe in getting out there and just trying to sell things. Create value for who you're selling
Yep.
it to first. Give them something of value and then sell what you have when you
Mhm.
know that it's something that could benefit. You're going to find your business grows so much better when you're building relationships
Yeah.
first. And we have reached a point where we are actually at a dearth in trust. So in order to build that trust, build value, build relationships. They want to know who they're working with, not
Yeah.
just what your product is, but like, is there a synergy? You know what I mean? So that's the other thing that's really important is focusing on building the relationships, which is
Yep.
kind of part of my model for growth. So what I do is my background is marketing. So that's what I've been doing the last 20 years, marketing and advertising and operations. My business is really built around business and marketing for small and medium-sized businesses. And so really what I do and what I teach my clients is how do you nurture those relationships? How do you build the relationships? And then how do you ultimately sell to those qualified leads that you have? And you don't just try to sell to everybody. You sell to people that really could,
A hundred
um,
percent.
yeah.
100%. I tell
So,
everybody if you're gonna make content, it's gonna do two things. Number one, repel bullshit. Number one, there's a lot of BS people out there on LinkedIn that would love to have the guts that it takes to write controversial stuff on LinkedIn. Your
yeah,
content should do two things, repel things, and it should attract.
yeah,
Because the people that you want to attract will going to resonate with what you say.
yeah,
End of story. And I think a lot of
exactly.
people they don't understand how to do that. You don't sell to everyone. You
Yeah,
have a very specific market.
yeah,
I only work with people that know what they want because
yeah,
I can't do my job if you don't know what you want. And I can
right,
immediately tell within 30 minutes of talking to you if you know what you want or not. And
right.
it's so obvious. Okay.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of times when you're talking to entrepreneurs that are literally just starting or they're in the 1 to 3 year phase, they don't know how to articulate
mhm,
it. It's like, what kind of revenue range would you be happy with? What do you want? Who do you need to hire? How do you need to delegate? Stuff like that, right? So when you have problems when it comes to that, you need to learn how to articulate and
yeah,
communicate what you want. That will
totally.
make your
Yeah,
business 70% more successful.
yes. And then you'll attract the right people. And that it's interesting you brought that up because I posted yesterday on LinkedIn about the year of the fire horse, which is coming.
Yes,
And
let's
Sarah,
get
you and
into
I had
this
talked
one.
about this. Yeah. So I had posted, and part of me was kind of like, is this the right place to post about this? And then I
Yeah.
decided, well, the people that I'm going to help and that want to hear about it, they will. It'll help them, right? It'll be
Mhm.
interesting and it'll help them. So I went ahead and I posted, and
Yeah.
it has gotten like the most number of impressions that
Ah, you see?
compared to so many of the other posts that I do, which are more business related and
Yeah.
teaching, training related. This one has been like, you know, I think has resonated with a lot of people. So
Yeah, I
that's just
think,
an example. That's just an
yeah.
example. Like if you
Yeah.
feel it and it's who you are and it's part of who you are, put it out there and you will
Yeah.
bring in the people who want to see that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, 100%. Listen, first of all, as someone who has grandparents from mainland China and Hong Kong,
Hmm.
I can definitely agree that the year of the snake stretched a lot of people, including myself, and I'm sure
Yeah.
including
Yeah.
you. Okay, the
Yeah.
year of the snake is normally not kind to a lot of people. And it's
Hmm.
not even about the zodiac sign, it's just about the fact that the snake will make you get rid of things that are not
Yeah.
serving you.
Correct.
And
Things you might be hiding behind,
yeah, a
right?
hundred
And
percent.
so,
It
yeah.
provides a lot of clarity. I think that, especially in the year of the snake, it provides a lot of clarity for a lot of
Hmm.
people. When I was, how old am I now? 26. Okay, so about 6 years ago would be I was 20 years old. And 20 years
Hmm.
old, yeah, yeah, we had 20 years old. I basically starting COVID right there and
Yeah.
then. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the year 2019. So honestly, when you talk about things that are unpopular, I can promise you, you do better.
It's so
You do
true.
better
Yeah.
because you're not the only one
Yeah.
that's thinking it, except
Hmm.
you just have the balls to say it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then a lot of people will call you angry because of the fact that you stated something that no one else wanted to. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, everybody thinks that you're angry or this or that. I'm like, no, babe, I'm not. I'm just the one who's blatantly saying it.
Yeah.
This is what y'all are thinking, but you're too scared to say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. I do think that that has a lot to do with starting your business too,
Yeah.
is figure out what you have, what is your unique value proposition, right? Who are you? What's your unique value proposition? Inject who you are into your business. And because now, especially, your brand is you. And
Yeah.
so people are going to be attracted to who you are and what you have to say.
100%.
It's not just, a business coach you can find, right? Like we can all go online and find a business
Oh,
coach, but a
100. I
business
can find one in
coach,
the next 5 minutes.
Right, right. So, but you, when you inject your personality into it and your background and your storytelling and who you are, that's when you're going to start the magic of, bringing in the people you want to bring in.
Yeah, I actually had someone like DM me this morning on LinkedIn and he was like, I'm really interested in your podcast. I've watched a couple clips. And I was like, what'd you like about it? He was like, you're blunt, you're honest. And he's like, but you're real and you're making a change. Because a
Mhm.
lot of people, especially on LinkedIn, they have this facade of
Yeah.
putting out nonsense because you're trying to be someone that you are not.
Right. Or maybe you are, but you're hiding some parts of your personality. It's the vanilla
Yes!
version. It's the vanilla version of who you are.
Yes!
But people want to see the rocky road with marshmallows and chocolate chips
Yes,
version of
we
who
want to
you
see the
are.
dysfunction a little bit. Be
Yeah.
a real human being.
I
I was
agree with that
having another
completely.
inter I was literally interviewing another person on my podcast, which I just uploaded the clip today of Jack Austin, and we were talking about because he actually owned a writing agency before he started doing what he's doing right now. And he told me, he's like, your guys' content needs to sound like you. You need to talk to people like you are. You can't hide it.
Right.
And people are either gonna love you or they're
Yeah.
gonna hate you. And
Yeah.
you don't get an in between. Okay.
Mhm.
There's no gray area when it comes to that. You get people that love you and you get people that hate you. And
Yeah.
honestly, not everyone is supposed to like you.
Right.
And that's okay. We're all different. That's the
Well, you
beautiful thing
work
about life.
better when you attract those people who believe in you and your message and you
Yeah.
resonate with them. It makes working with each other so much easier as
Yes.
well, right? I mean, I'm sure you've had clients too, Sarah, that you meet them, you maybe think that it may not be the best fit, but you go ahead and work together
Yeah.
and you realize like, oh no, this was not a good fit at
Yep.
all. So like the more you can be who you are and not hide behind something, a facade, the more you're going to have like success and enjoy and
Yeah,
love what
man.
you do.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, you just hit. That's so funny you brought that up because I fired a client because of that. Literally
Yeah,
December, I was like, "You're done.
yeah,
Ya
yeah.
acabamos. We're done. We're done." And I'm like,
Hmm.
"It's okay." And I think when you're starting out, I think a lot of people are afraid
Yeah.
to let go of clients because they're
Hmm.
living in the scarcity mindset. Because a
Hmm.
lot of entrepreneurs within the first 3 years,
Yeah.
they live in that scarcity mindset, which is so incredibly toxic. And you have to get used with people not being a good fit for you.
Yes.
And but guys, if you guys are listening to this, you guys need to realize that it's okay to let people go. Just like it's okay to let one of your ex-partners go in life, it's okay to let friends go, which are not serving you at the current moment in life that you're currently in. It's
Hmm.
okay to do that. But what did you learn though? Right? Do
Hmm.
an audit and do an inventory on what did you learn? How are you positively
Yeah.
and or negatively going to learn from this experience? And that's
Correct.
okay.
Hmm. Yeah, totally. I agree. And that's part of the snake energy is like letting go of that stuff
Mhm.
and really looking into who you are and what you want, and then jumping on that fire horse and taking off. Like
Yeah, dude,
seriously.
I'm excited about this
Yeah.
animal sign. I mean, I was talking, I know a business coach who is a horse, who is going to be 60, and this is her exact year. I said, this year is either gonna crush you or
Yeah.
it's gonna make you run. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
only two ways that's gonna happen. I know for me, I'm an earth rabbit, but I have a sign of Leo. Okay, so I'm a Leo rabbit, and then I know like a lot of people have different mixes. And let me tell you something. This year has not happened in 60 years. And a lot of people are asking me to like, what should I expect? I'm like, if you're a rat this year, God bless, you're not going to have a good year.
Hmm. Hmm.
Especially with the actual um element too. The element plays a really big thing into a year too. And I
Hmm.
think a lot of people, they're just not educated about this. I feel like in business too, the year of the horse is a very special year in business because it's going to show you exactly who can keep up and who's going to fall behind.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm ready for it. And I think it's from a business perspective, it's really time to um, take good inventory of your business, of your offers, who you help, what is not serving you anymore, and get prepared to really, and whether you believe in the year of the horse or not, you don't have
Hmm.
to. It's just like it is a natural progression. Once you've let go of some of that stuff that's not serving you, you can move forward with full success
Yeah.
in the right mindset.
Hmm. Think too, like people, I don't know if anybody else does this but me, but I'm a little bit anal when it comes to this. I write my goals out
Hmm.
for the year
Hmm.
and all the things that I learned that were great and bad, right? Like I could write out the good, the negative, the ugly, the beautiful every single year, and I get very serious about my goals. I think a lot of people they just don't know how to articulate what they want though.
Hmm.
So when they're writing out their goals or they're trying to plan for future successes, they don't they don't even know how to articulate that because they've never done it before. And I think that's where a
Yeah.
lot of young entrepreneurs they get this wrong is that
Hmm.
they don't like people don't ironically enough people don't understand what SMART goals are. So
Hmm.
like when you talk to people about SMART goals and what the SMART acronym stands for, people can't even tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think there are a lot of people out there who are starting businesses who may
Yeah,
not have any sort of a formal training. They need
yeah,
help. They need mentors. They need the right people. And that's another thing that I would like to talk about a little bit is because when I started my business, I was looking around and people were coming up with my algorithm on social media, and I ended up spending a lot of money on a mentor that did not serve me. It
yeah,
was very disappointing because
yep,
I thought I was going to go really far with this person, and it turned out that it was not what I thought it was going to
yeah,
be. But I learned from that. And
yeah,
so surround yourself with the people that can help you get to where you're going, right?
yeah,
In the beginning, it's a lot of done do it yourself, right? It's a
yeah,
lot of do it yourself. There's some done with you that you might try. But get some of that done for you as well. Like don't burn out and then end up closing your business down because you feel it didn't work, right? If
right,
you surround yourself with the people that can help you get there, especially in those first couple of years, that'll serve you so well when you're moving forward. Like they can help you with determining what is your offer? Is it the right offer? What's the
right,
price point? Otherwise, you sit and perseverate on these things because you don't really know. But if you get an expert to help you with those kinds of things, then it's just going to help speed all of it up.
yeah. I noticed too, like I had somebody actually come to me in my DMs and ask me to like, you know, as far as the posting algorithm is too, like the way they were doing it, when I looked at what he was doing versus what it should, how it should be done, I'm like,
Mhm.
dude, you're basically cutting yourself off because you're posting way too much. Okay,
Mm,
I'm like, you're doing all the reposts wrong. You're not giving your actual initial post time to breathe and flow
mm,
through the algorithm, which a lot of
hmm.
people don't even understand why that is. It's not an algorithm that I made up, it's just LinkedIn. Okay. So
Yeah.
people don't know restraint well.
Mm,
People don't know restraint. They think that they're gonna buy this course, they're gonna buy that course. I'm like, dude,
hmm.
YouTube is a very free, very sound tool that you can use.
Hmm.
I have had an experience as well. I'm glad that you brought this up actually. I had an experience with a business coach that I trusted as a mentor and it did not work out.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Hmm.
unfortunately, it is what it is. But what did I learn from that? I learned that I can't allow people to one tell me how to act,
Hmm.
but also at the same time, I can't allow people to tell me what I should or should not do though.
Exactly.
And that's
That's so
the
true.
big one.
That's a big one. With the former person that I worked with that I mentioned, she was fitting everybody into one package, which was
Right.
her offer,
One
right?
tier.
And
Yeah.
so we were all kind of doing that, but it did not sit well with me. Even when I was working on it and
Yeah.
following her instructions, I was like, this isn't exactly who I am. This isn't the price I want to charge. This isn't what I want to do. This isn't me. And so ultimately I learned from that and I changed it all around and I made it into what I needed it to be. But business is not a one size fits all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like wearing shirts. Not everybody wears a size small.
Right.
So, your offer and your business is going to be the same thing. So you got to just figure out what it is. What's your unique, I would say the first thing is what is your unique value proposition? What is the
Talk
pain
to us
point?
about too, following your intuition.
Hmm.
Talk to us
Um,
about that.
yeah, that's That's what I've done my whole life, right? Like I feel like when I was in the science world, working
Hmm.
in pharmaceuticals and biotech, though I love science, um, it took guts for me to start my business because everyone around me, not everyone, most people around me were thinking that I was doing something crazy. Why would
Yep.
you've been in this world for over 20 years, why would you leave it and start your own business now? Like that doesn't make any sense, you
Yeah.
know? And also, as I mentioned, in my 50s, they're like, what are you doing? Why are you starting something in your 50s? You know, like start kind of settling down, calming down, thinking about retirement. And I'm just like, I cannot even imagine myself in that position where I'm gonna retire. What am I going to do? That's not me. So it really was me following my intuition on what I think, even though I was getting blocks all around me, like coming up. Um, it took a lot for me to just kind of stay the course and follow my intuition. And
Yeah.
so I recommend highly that people journal and really write, why are you starting this business? You know, what's your why? Um, who do you want to help? And the more you write about it, the more clarity you're going to get.
Oh
So,
man, so beautifully well said, man. Seriously, very, very
yeah,
beautifully said. I think a
yeah,
lot of people, to your point, and I'm, I absolutely agree when you said your story. When it comes to working with a mentor, you can take a mentor's advice, yes, but you don't need to follow it to a T.
yeah,
And I think a
yeah,
lot of times when someone pays for a coaching program, the coach expects you to follow their coaching program to a T to get it to work, but it may not in your situation. And
yeah.
sometimes that's where your gut is telling you, like, yo, you got to change a couple things because it's
Hmm.
not working out for you. And
Hmm.
that's okay. And then all of a sudden, someone gets mad at you because you don't follow it to a T.
Yeah,
It's like, who's the one paying the taxes on the freaking LLC? Me or you, babe? Like,
yeah,
seriously. You
yeah.
can't get mad at someone for doing what it is that they feel best for their
Right.
business. And
Yeah.
honestly,
What do you feel called to do? Right.
yeah, dude.
And build your brand. You're building your brand based on your personality. It's a personality brand. It's you that people are ultimately going to be interested in. The business coaching or whatever it is that you do, that's an aside. As we know, you can hire multiple people to do that. But what is the brand? What is your brand that is bringing people in? That you cannot teach. That you're not going to get from any mentor. So that's why this whole one size fits all thing just doesn't work. Some of those people will be highly successful
Yeah.
that are in those groups, but then many of them are also kind of like flailing around because it doesn't sit well. It's not exactly what you were meant to do. So yeah, tweak it and make it your own. Use it as a model. So I always talk about modeling, like find the people in your space who you admire who are doing a really great job, see what they're doing, and you can use that same sort of structure and model your business after that as well, right? Or you might take three or four different people and just be like, okay, I like what this one does here, I like what this one does here, and then create your own out of it. There's so many resources out there for
Yeah,
people.
I think just following your gut is so important.
Hmm.
It comes back to marketing. It comes back to the way you write your content, copywriting. You need to be you. You cannot just be everyone else. And if something's not working for you, it's okay to say respectfully that no, I don't want to follow this because this isn't giving me the results that I desire. Simply
Right.
put. And I think a lot of people are just afraid, especially when you hire someone to coach you or advise you. I think a lot of people are afraid of standing up to people and being like, I don't agree with what you're
Hmm.
saying,
Yeah.
especially because you threw money into this, right? So like
Hmm.
people still to a degree live in this scarcity mindset that like if you
Hmm.
piss somebody off, it's not going to yield the results that you want.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, put the energy out there that you want. I believe strongly on that too, right? Like
Yeah.
treat everyone with respect, offer something of value before you try to sell something. Um, which is what I do with, so I do marketing and lead generation for people. And so I have an assessment that I give to my clients or potential clients. And basically, they take this little 3-minute test. And at the end of it, it gives them insights and recommendations of what they can do immediately to change their lead gen strategy,
Yeah.
right? And so that's completely free. They haven't even talked to me yet, but they're getting something of value from
Yeah.
that. So what can you offer in your business that is going to give somebody something of immediate value that they can utilize? And that's going to also help build the know, like, and trust and all of that, and start the nurturing process, like start that relationship building process before you ever sell anything to them, you know?
Marketing is the most unliked, but the most necessary aspect in business
Hmm.
that you're ever going to put focus on. The accounting, the finance, stuff like that comes secondary, in my personal opinion, to
Hmm.
marketing.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah. And
Because you
yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead. No, I was just going to say, I love marketing, but that's because that's my background, you know.
Right, right.
I love marketing because I just feel like there's so many different things you can do. It's not, again, it's not a one size fits all.
True.
And once you figure it out, it takes testing. It's not
Yeah,
something that you can do and like immediately you're going to see results. Sometimes it takes testing to figure
yeah.
out what messaging and what channel is working for you. And it's different for everybody. But when it does click, it's just so exciting for people.
I think a lot of times too, like I tell people, I'm like, you can get clients off posts. I've seen it happen before. I'm
Hmm.
like, my clients get clients off of posts. Okay.
Yep.
It's either I'm writing your reels for you or I'm actually writing your LinkedIn post for you, which people would pay a lot of money for because they don't know how to formally structure it.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of copywriters are making the most money right now, is on social media. That's why
Yeah.
I added it into my business from the very beginning because I knew that there was a desire, there was a very high demand for this.
Yes.
So when people get their messaging right, it comes from a place of not urgency, but alignment, though. And that's where
Yes.
I'm getting at in this entire conversation. You can't put something out there that you don't believe in.
Right. Right. And you're right. You can tell the messages that are actually real and thought out and the ones that aren't, the ones
Yeah.
that are just pure AI. And I never recommend to anybody that you just use AI for your messaging because everyone can pick that out like immediately now.
Yeah,
So,
it's so obvious, man. And it's like
hmm.
everybody comes up with an excuse to me now. They're like, why should I hire you? And I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, if you're gonna come to me with that standpoint, I'm just not even gonna entertain a
Yeah.
conversation with you. And I
Right.
respectfully tell them straight up. I'm like, okay, so if that's how you believe, I'm not even gonna entertain a conversation with you. It's
Yeah.
respectful. And then it's
Yes.
funny when people come back around and be like, I'm not getting the results. I'm like, I said it the first time that I'm not working with you if you're gonna be
Yeah.
rude.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Period. And
Yeah.
it comes back to the ideology of walking away, knowing when to walk away from people as well.
Right.
You can't
Yeah.
entertain someone that doesn't think that they need help and or do not want to change and or
Hmm.
explore the opportunities of the other side of change either. Because then at
Exactly.
that point you're fiduciarily wasting your freaking time.
Hmm. Yeah.
You
I
can't help
agree.
somebody that doesn't want to be helped.
And it saves your energy. I think if you spend
100%.
an hour, yeah, if you spend an hour with somebody where you know, like, this is not working, they're not talking to me because they really need a solution. They're just arguing about why they don't want to spend the money or they don't believe what I'm saying. And so then what's the point of that, right?
And that's why even when it comes to major sales
Hmm.
objections, I'm like, I really just try not to argue. It's
Hmm.
like obviously the most common one is about price. And I'm like, I know my value.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with you about the price. That's
Yeah.
not going to happen on a sales call.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number
Hmm.
two, if you're going to come to me and objectify to me that it may not work for you, it may not. You have a
Yeah.
point there. It may not work for you. But where do you want to be? Do you want to
Hmm.
be in the same position that you came to me in, or do you actually want to explore an opportunity? I don't have a
Hmm.
problem giving out a refund, but what I have
Hmm.
a problem with is people refusing to actually look at change from
Yeah.
a very open, wide-eyed viewpoint versus just being stuck. And that's
Right.
what I feel like a lot of people would have prefer to be at right now
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
stuck unwilling to change, think that they know it all. And honestly, that's a very bad way to look at life. Is like
Hmm.
you're so close-minded that no one wants to talk to you.
Hmm. I agree. I think that people also just are afraid of change. And even though they come to you thinking they want to make a change, I do tell my clients that too, because I have a product that's a lead generation tool.
Yeah,
And I tell them, this is going to work for you. But if you're not going to use it and if you're going to cast it aside, and then 3 months from now, you're going to wonder why you still don't have leads, then don't buy it because this is something that can change your business, but
yeah,
only if you implement it into your business,
yeah, yep. And that's
right?
why I don't ever buy stuff without the intentionality to use it.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's the thing. If I get business coaching, I'm going to hammer you with questions.
Hmm.
Okay. If I bought LinkedIn DM automation. Everybody
Uh-huh.
was like, stop soliciting. I was like, you did it in the beginning, and now all of a sudden you have full blown businesses, and I can't do it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Funny enough,
Yeah.
ironically. DM automation is amazing. The amount of people that have said yes to a free audit is incredible. Like I
Hmm.
have, at least I'm looking at stars on my Safari. Okay.
Yeah.
With stars, amount of people I have to get back to. Okay. So you have to want to use something
Yeah.
if you're paying for it.
Hmm.
Consciously, knowingly,
Right.
you have to want it. You can't sit here and say, oh, I don't want to use this, but I'm going to make this person's life difficult that I'm on a call with and like question the crap out of them why or why not I should get this. It's like, dude, if you knew walking into this call that you didn't want this, why are we sitting here? Why are you wasting my time?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Agreed. So, like I said, that's part of the whole business growth and understanding who you are, who you serve, who you want to serve, getting on calls and knowing immediately that this may or may not work. So I always try to qualify before I get on a call with somebody just to make sure that we are aligned in our thinking. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I realize, like, after they finish my assessment, that, oh, I may not be the best fit for this person for what they actually need.
Yeah.
And then you preserve your energy too, right? And you
Yes.
can spend it on those revenue generating activities instead.
Yes. Yes. I was
Hmm.
on a coaching call the other day and someone said revenue money moves. That's what she put it as, is
Hmm.
like making money moving actions in
Hmm.
place.
Yep.
And I think a lot of entrepreneurs, I still believe in education, but I know for me, when I'm watching business content, it's either during the middle of the day, like smack at noon, and or it's going to be at night where I'm trying
Mhm.
to wind down and trying to educate myself about something, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times when you get to a point where you think you know it all, you don't want to learn anything more
Right.
because you think you know it all. You don't.
Mhm.
Times are constantly changing. You're not
Yes.
going to know it all. And copywriting could be different in 5 years from now. This is simply based off of what my observations are.
Right.
Okay. As an
Yeah.
expert in the field versus someone else who's been in copywriting for 25 years. Copywriting has changed in
Hmm.
25 years. It's not the
Hmm.
same. Okay,
Hmm.
there's different modalities that you can do in copywriting now versus, 20 years ago or 25 years ago. Just like lead generation is completely different. There's a lot of platforms where AI now for lead
Yeah.
gen that are
Hmm.
way cheaper, that are faster at getting you the results that you want. And all of a sudden, the lead gen people that have been in lead gen for 20, 30, 40 years, they don't want to admit that it's the better way or
Hmm.
it's the best way
Well, it's
anymore.
the saving time thing we were talking about, right?
Yeah,
Like use AI to save time, but don't let it replace the person and don't
yeah,
let it replace like the nurturing and all of those things are important because um, people just don't trust anymore. They have to be, what used to take 7 to 10 touch points before somebody would actually
is that
like
like 20?
look at what you are doing now is way more than it's like it can be 30 to 40 times, which is
Yeah.
so hard to believe, but it is the truth. People just are getting inundated with so much information. How are you going to stand out compared to like everybody else that's, competing for eyeballs? And it's
It's like
really,
information fatigue in a way, if you want to
Mhm.
call it that, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is information fatigue. And so it's like, how do you build relationships? How do you, if somebody is interested in what you have or are engaging with you, how do you build relationships and create value and build trust? Because it's trust that people don't have as much anymore.
Yeah, and I listen, like I know someone asked me this morning in a DM that I use AI? Yes and no.
Hmm.
Because even with my own custom GPT that I am licensing, I know it's not perfect
Yeah.
because it requires somebody of clear conscience and intuition to use it properly
Yeah.
for its proper intention and
Yeah.
purpose. Okay?
Hmm.
So you can't sit there and say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to let AI do everything." That's are you out of your mind?
Right.
It's a tool. It's not
Yes.
replacing a human being where a human being can literally think critically.
Yeah.
A robot is programmed to think only one way. A
Right.
human being can think about 15 different ways to do something versus one way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's where we're getting to in business. A lot of people are saying, I'm going to use AI, I'm going to use this, I'm going to use that. I'm like, feel free. And then what I constantly see now is like, especially with the year of the snake moving out and the year of the fire horse moving in, people are like, yeah, I'm open to like an audit. Yeah, because you tried something and it didn't work because
Yeah.
you refuse to listen to anybody else.
Yes. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I think I think the conversation was really good today because I think there are so many different aspects of business that aren't just focused on what it is that you offer. Like this
Yeah,
just tells you everything around what you offer. Yeah, you have to have a unique value proposition. Your offer has to be amazing in this day and age, but really that communication, the building relationships, building rapport, saving your energy, um, maybe tweaking your offer, like all those things come into play.
yeah.
And surround yourself by those people who can help you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Two last things I ask every single guest.
Hmm.
Number one, where can people find you? Okay, I
Hmm.
don't know what that was, but
Balloons.
I have a Mac, so I guess that reaction thing is turned on. Number one, where can people find you? And number two, very importantly, what does unbreakable mean to you?
Oh, wow. I like those. Well, the contact info is I'm Minnie Gupta. So I don't know, Sarah, if you're just going to put that in the
Yep, I'll
show
put it in
notes or
description. I'll
something.
put it out when I
Yeah.
launch it on LinkedIn
Yeah.
as well.
So we'll go ahead and put my LinkedIn profile in there as well as a link to my assessment. So it's a
Hmm.
lead generation assessment that people can take and kind of determine where they are with lead gen, and it'll give you those like little tips and those kinds of things.
Hmm.
And it takes like 3 minutes and it's totally free. So that might be something useful that people could use.
Yeah, awesome. And
Yeah. Unbreakable. Wow. I mean, I feel like that's a metaphor for my life. Like, as things come up, you persevere. I'd
yeah,
say persevere and unbreakable are somewhat similar to me. Is like you just keep pushing forward. You have your goal in mind of what you want in your life, right? And it doesn't have to be the same thing as it was when you're like Sarah, 26 years old. You could totally change what you're looking for in
yeah,
20 years, and it's okay. Like
yeah,
follow, we have this one life. Follow your passion, follow what
yeah,
you want to do, and keep that excitement going, and
yeah.
jump on that fire horse. That's all I have to say.
Yes. Oh, what an incredible conversation, Doctor. Thank you so much for your time and wanting to sit down on the Unbreakable podcast. Until next time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.